Remember guys, if you want to make sure that you're getting all my videos, make sure you click that bell and check the box and make sure you're getting all of my notifications. It'd be really cool if you did that for me. Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
So I'm a very pro-sex and sex-positive person. I think sexuality is your own business and it's no one's duty or right to tell you how much or how little sex it's okay to have, how many partners it's okay to have, or what type of sexual activity it's okay to have, if any. As long as it's consensual and not coercive, do whatever makes you feel good. And I think this attitude is basically becoming the norm. Like, we're not all the way there yet, but we're leading up to that. So I'm not saying I deserve a pat on the back for feeling like this. Like, I'm so progressive, bro. I'm also pretty sexually liberal in my own life. Like, I'm not saying I have like outrageous kinks or fetishes or anything like that. I'm just like kind of down, you know? But in spite of that, I don't really actively pursue sex in my life all that much anymore. There's a period between ages like 19 to around 26 where I was excessively invested in trying to get people to have sex with me. And sexual desire is weird. Like, don't get me wrong, sex is awesome, but a lot of things are awesome. I feel like the desire for sex is completely disproportional to how good it actually is. At least for me, not everyone agrees with that. I've met people who think that sex is the most magical thing possible. So a lot of people who want sex seem to have trouble getting it, which is one of the reasons why pickup artist is the name of an actual thing that some people do for a living, because some men will actually pay someone to teach them how to get laid. But for me, like, as soon as I started being actually social and meeting people, I didn't really have this problem. And I'm not saying like I'm some kind of Mac Daddy Casanova. I'm just saying, like, if you go out and meet enough people, like, eventually just the odds dictate that you'll meet someone with whom you have a mutual DTF-ness. You just kind of gotta get out of the house. And this is especially the case if alcohol is involved. But of course you have to be careful with that and make sure you actually have consent. But I'm not one of those people that makes the argument that alcohol necessarily removes you of your ability to provide consent. But I digress. So that's all well and good, but there's a difference between wanting sex and actively pursuing sex. Like, it may be the case that there are two people who want to have sex with each other, but they're really shy about it, so it never happens. But as many of you probably know, a lot of people make it very clear that they would like to have sex with you. I mean, they may not verbatim be like, wanna fook? Although they might. I've experienced that before. What a fook? But you know, they make it clear in other ways, like strong flirtation or body language, Netflix and chill, like shit like that. And as long as you're not being like threatening, I feel like being forward and active about your desire for sex can and probably will result in you having some sex. I'm not saying that every time you express a desire for sex, you'll get it, but if you express a desire for sex enough times, you'll probably get it every now and then. And you would think that that's the idea. See, the problem is that doing that also has a high potential to result in you doing dumb and embarrassing shit, especially if alcohol is involved. The desire for sex often results in people making questionable decisions. One time I rode home with this girl and I spent the night with her, but then the next morning I remembered that her friend had dropped us off and neither of us had cars, and I was 30 minutes away from home and I had to take a cab home. And I don't know if you know this, but a 30-minute cab ride is expensive as fuck. I'm broke. Honestly, it was just a bad decision. I mean, it was a fun night, but if I was thinking clearly, I probably would have just stayed home and saved my money. And there's a lot of other weird and embarrassing shit that I've done in order to try to get people to have sex with me, like send stupid texts at 5 in the morning or lie and make up shit, or just like straight up asking them, which can be kind of awkward if they say no. Now, I'm not saying it's inherently bad to do these things. Well, the lying and manipulation part, that's bad. Don't do that. But some of the other things, sometimes they're perfectly fine, but other times they turn out to be really bad decisions. I also don't mean to say that everyone who pursues sex necessarily does dumb shit, and I'm not saying that that's just part of the deal if you want to have sex with people. But even if you avoid doing anything that you would consider embarrassing or stupid, it can still result in making people uncomfortable, and that's kind of my main issue. Being upfront about your sexuality and your desire for sex has a high potential to just straight up creep people out, even if you're being honest and civil about it. A lot of this has to do with the fact that despite all of our progress, sex is still a very taboo and sensitive subject. And talking about it can make people uncomfortable, even though it's perfectly natural to want it. And even beyond that, sex is a very personal and intimate and usually private thing. So it makes sense that someone might be a little ill at ease if you're all like, what if and I kind of just don't want to be that guy. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with pursuing sex as long as you're honest and respectful about it. I just think that making people uncomfortable or potentially creeping people out is something I'd like to minimize, even if it results in me having less sex. which it does. And don't mistake me, I haven't like given up sex. Frequently I meet people that are very open about their sexuality, so I don't have to worry about whether they're uncomfortable or not. And I think it gets easier the older I get, not because my desire for sex has really decreased, but my estimation of its importance certainly has. That's just me though. Thank you for watching my video. If you find any value in my videos, or if you just want to support me, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. And remember, be honest, be assertive, be kind, and be open-minded. Stay Hakem.